Sup, you Eurovision fool, it's Sean, Roy, and Matt, ES United, your favorite Eurovision channel. And we just watched the first dress rehearsal of semi-final one. The jury show is tonight. So we decided, as every year, we're going to give you our predictions, who will move on and who is out. 5 of us, Sean, Roy, myself, then as well as Melanie and Connor, we all picked the 10 countries we think will go through. So let's go for them one by one, because these guys don't even know what's going to come at them, and talk it through. So let's go for the countries where we all agree, all 5 of us saying this one is a qualifier. Starting with Ukraine, Kalush Orchestra. Every single one of us believes Ukraine is going to go to the grand final. I mean, Sean, anything else to add? What are your thoughts?
It's about as obvious a qualifier as you can get. I mean, when I did the prediction, I tried to work out, if I could, the televote and the jury. Didn't quite work out. I had to make some changes, I think, because I wasn't happy with the 10 it came up with, basically. But I've got Ukraine as the televote winner. I think once they get to the final, they will still be the televote winner. Just, you know, a lot of it is down to the song as well. It's a really strong performance and visually looks stunning. Obviously, there's other factors that we're all too familiar with that will play into that as well, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, if there was, none of these sort of, real world things going on around Ukraine, this would still be a surefire qualifier. It's really slick and smooth, and they've done a really good job with bringing a package together and making rap more accessible. With the song, it's brilliant performance. There's no chance this isn't qualifying.
Yeah, you completely stole my thunder here. I was going to say the exact same thing. It is the kind of song that put the tragic situation beside, which is hard to do for them, of course, but just for the sake of this ranking, this would have qualified regardless. It's absolutely the kind of song that would do really well. We're not even talking about what's going to happen in the grand final, only the fact that they're going to make it there. So that is the only thing we're talking about. So I completely agree. This is a pretty obvious no-brainer kind of situation here. And yes, I think this is also the first time where I'm like, this is actually a approachable rap, I call it, because I'm not rap. It's like, but I was like, yeah. So I totally get it. This is gonna go through. All right, next one on our list. Also, everyone agreeing, probably not coming as a surprise, is Greece. Amanda, Die Together. Roy, you kind of nod, da. Any thoughts?
I mean, it is really one of the standout performances of the semi-final, in my opinion. Like, she just nails this vocally every single run through, and the staging looks cool. It's interesting, unique. The lighting is very good. The storytelling that they kind of try to do is quite nice as well. I just don't see a world where Greece doesn't qualify. Like, it's probably going to fight for the win of the semi, in my opinion. It's a good performance, and yeah, I'm very happy that Greece might do well in this year's Eurovision.
Wow.
Yeah.
High praise from Roy. That is pretty impressive. So Greece, certainly, according to us, a sure qualifier. Probably, as pointed out, not coming as a surprise. Also on our list, this country received 5 votes out of 5. So sure qualifier if it were up to us. And that is Subwoofer from Norway. Give that wolf a banana. I know there was a lot of discussion going back and forth between juries versus televote, but I think we all kind of agree, apparently I'm going to ask you as well, that this will go through. Again, we're not talking about where it's going to end up in the grand final, just purely the fact that it'll go through. And even if the juries will not be appreciative of it, I just don't see this one being anywhere outside the top 3 of the televote. So I think that alone will drag it into the finals. So I feel fairly confident about it. Your thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, the reason I was on an hour and over like televote and jury was that I was trying to work out how low down Norway's going to be with the juries. I think it's going to be still top 10 with the jury. I think you can look at the fact that, the lyrics are a little bit sort of, I don't know, jokey, I guess people would call it, but this is a really solid, well-produced EDM song all the same. You take away the bells and whistles and the costumes, it's still got all of the hallmarks of, a strong production. So
yeah,
I think the viewers will still appreciate that to a point. Televoters are going to go big for this, though. They're going to absolutely love this. The draw really helps them out. What more can I say?
Yeah.
I mean, it's two
No,
guys
that's
dancing
good.
around in big yellow costumes. It's a televote winner for sure. You know?
Nothing else to add. The next country on our list, 5 out of 5, once again, the Netherlands, Estine. Gotta put it on you, Roy. I know. Put your personal Dutch bias aside. You clearly I mean, you had some concerns initially about, grand final chances, but in terms of qualification, not an issue, huh?
I mean, put your Dutch bias aside. Usually, the Dutch are the most critical about their own entry.
True, I guess so.
Maybe I should put it into place then. Yeah, I think that this song just really stands out in the semi-final because we don't really have that many that type of ballad that really the juries will vote for in masses. And she sings it well. It's good vocally and it's well staged. Like it's very simple but very very effective with this type of song. And yeah, I think we don't need to worry too much to go to the final. At the final, it's a whole different story, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Netherlands will go through in my opinion.
No, I completely agree. We had the same. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to win when I make this comparison, but I get a little bit Duncan Lawrence, people a little overthinking because it's too sad, it's too dark, it's the staging, I don't like it. The song itself is still good enough. So I think we all agree this is a safe qualifier. Moving on to the 5th qualifier on our list. Once again, 5 out of 5. The last song of the night, Armenia. Snap. Any surprise on your end, Sean?
Not really. I mean, I didn't have it as way up towards the top of the ranking in this semi-final, but I've got it in a respectable 6th place, something like that. I think the televoters will go for it in some way. I think the juries are going to really like it though, and the performance is innovative. It's different. It's new. There's some tweaks I would make to it personally, but you're going to remember the performance, and obviously it's the last song of the night. Always helps. Hasn't always worked, obviously, in the past for certain, songs. It's not like a given that you're going to qualify from that position. But I think just the overall package here is strong enough, and I can't see Armenia not qualifying.
And that is fair. So Armenia, our 5th country, going through number 6 on our list. I know it's getting boring, but maybe that's a good sign for those countries. Everyone agrees that this country is going to go through, and that is Portugal. Saudade, and I will.
Portugal then.
What?
I did think you'd say Portugal then.
Yeah.
Really.
I will say because I was hesitant because I just think this could potentially not connect. But I do see a lot more mass appeal with this one than some of the other songs that Portugal sent, like 2019-18 come to mind, where people really liked it, but it wasn't quite as I wouldn't even say universal, but this large number. So even though my hesitancy is that people will not connect with it, I was convinced by the vibe and what I'm hearing that this will go through. So I have faith in it, and that's why I am putting it through. I know everybody else never had any doubt, so they won me over. They won me over. Moldova, Portugal, everyone on the team said it is going through. All right, so those were the first 6 countries on the list where everyone agreed. Let's talk about the ones where we had some differences. And the first on the list, a country that we think will go through, the 7th country on the list, 4 said yes, 1 said no, is Moldova. So Moldova, hey ho, let's go. I think everyone here on the call is actually saying it will go through. The only person that said nah is Connor. Of course, we cannot ask him right now. Are you surprised, Roy?
I mean, honestly, it was my 10th place, so it was only
Yeah.
a borderline qualifier for me. Because I think that this song is maybe a tad bit too dark, and it might have wanted a bit more energy for me as well. But at the end of the day, this is just good old Eurovision fun. People at home will be like, yeah, this is some good fun, and they will vote for it. And I think the televote appeal is just so strong with just a song alone that this will not definitely. That this has a shot at going through. So I did put it through in the end.
All right. Then the 8th country on our list, also ESC United, was saying this will qualify tomorrow evening. Eat your damn salad. Latvia is actually through. 4 out of 5 said yes. 1 person said no, and that is moi. I'm the only person on the team that does not think. I just don't think this screams bottom 3 with the juries. It screams bottom 3, and I don't think it's going to be number 1 or 2 in the televote. That the juries will drag it out enough. Clearly, Sean, you disagree with me. What do you think is going to happen based on your prediction?
It's funny you say that because I actually have it as last with the juries in my sort of prediction. But the way that I've sort of balanced it out, it just sneaks through in about 10th place for me.
Okay,
so very borderline, don't get me wrong, but I think the televoters are going to love this enough to save it. You know, it's a really fun and eye-catching, eye-popping, colourful performance. Sort of, you know, following after Albania, it does keep the, you know, the fun party vibe going as well. Just the guys are having fun on stage and it's really infectious and it works. The camera angles are great. It's the full package. So, like you say, the juries are probably just going to try and hammer this one down, but I think the televote is going to do enough for them this year.
Interesting. So yeah, I can see that because mine was, I think I put like in 12th or so. So I can see it because I was like, I'm the only one, but now at least I understand where you're coming from. All right, we got still 2 more left, 2 countries that will qualify according to our prediction. Number 9, 4 said yes, 1 said no. Sean, you got some explaining to do. Is Lithuania. Lithuania, Sentimentai is going through, and that one said no. Why is that, Sean?
Do you know, I just have a feeling about Lithuania. I think it's sort of the polar opposite of Latvia in that I think the juries will have it in their top 10. I just have a feeling the televoters are going to, you know, not forget, ignore, however you want to call it. I just think it's too early in the draw a little bit for the televoters to almost remember it compared to some of the other songs, and that's my concern. It's just, is it as accessible? I don't really know if the general public, you know, the silent majority, as I like to call them, I don't know if they're really going to resonate with this type of song.
Yeah,
that's my
only fair.
I think the juries will have some form of liking for it, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it's going to be like an 11th, 12th, 13th situation overall.
Okay, yeah. So, but there you can see you were overruled. We got 4 out of 5, and those are our 9 countries so far. And it's very interesting this round voting because we either had 5 or 4. So the clear majority said yes. The 10th qualifier, our borderland qualifier, only got 2 yeses. That's how big of a difference it is. And that country is cut. I forgot because I have a tie there and I forgot to break the tie.
Oh no.
So sorry. Give me 1 second.
The professional.
You're doing so well, Matt.
I know. That's what when I moved it, I deleted that. That was me. Let me just
The longer you take, the more you have to download.
Okay, 6 and
So
8.
around 9 out of 10.
6 and 8.
I've got 8 out of 10.
8 and so it's not that one.
I like it, but that
and
thank you.
Albania, I put 9.
And
Melanie
It's borderline for me.
Okay, I have it. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Do you want to start that bit again?
Yes, I'm just going to start with the 10th qualifier. So, and our 10th qualifier, by the way, interestingly enough, until this point, we had either 5 or 4 yeses, so a clear majority. Our borderline qualifier, only 2 yeses, and I had to apply a tiebreaker. And our 10th and final qualifier from Team United, it's going to be maybe a controversial one. Denmark. Roy, I mean, I know you like the song, and I know you think it's going to go through. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the televoters will eat this up. Like, you start with a nice ballad, and she sings it insanely well. And then you go to a very fast-paced, very happy punk rock, I guess, or garage rock nearly. You just have a lot of fun on stage. It is super catchy as well. It's very, very colorful. And I would be really surprised if Denmark doesn't qualify, actually. I know a lot of people disagree with it, but I would be really surprised if it doesn't. And I know I like the song. I just think that the people at home will go for this in masses. And I think the juries won't tank it either because, you know, they'll probably like their craftsmanship and you know, they're a band on the stage. So, yeah.
And just to know, because there were a couple of other countries that got 2 votes, but the reason why Denmark won the tiebreaker is because the two of us, I think Roy put in 6th place, I believe, and I put it in,
yes.
and I put it in 8th place. So the two of us still think it's going to go through, and the other countries got a lower average. So therefore, this is the 10th qualifier. So this is our list. These 10 countries, according to our prediction, Team United overall, not individually, will qualify. Just for quick, more of a lightning round for the remaining countries. Just very quick thoughts. The country that we have in 11th place, so just missing out, is Iceland. Iceland's sisters got 2 votes. Sean, you were one of the ones that said it'll go through.
Yeah.
Why?
Not very high in the top 10, I'll admit, but I just I looked at the countries that are in here, and I just thought this has got a little bit of a broad appeal, and I don't think it's going to be very high in both. But I just had a feeling, looking at the balance of power with the televote and the juries, I just felt like this might just get enough support in both to carry it through. There's a lot of other songs that I feel are very divisive, as in high televote, low jury.
Right.
And this just seemed to average out better for me, looking across the board. So that's why I had it in as one of the 10.
That's fair. That's fair. The next country also receiving 2 votes. Oh, by the way, the other person was Connor, who voted with you. So you and Connor said yes. For the next country, and it's also 2 votes, but not enough. Our 12th place, I guess, is Albania, Sekret. And it was Melanie and I who said it'll go through. Interesting enough, I put it as my borderline qualifier. I was, until the very last second, is it Austria? Is it Albania? Is it Austria? Is it Albania? Ultimately, I put Albania in just because hunch. That's all. Gut feeling. I don't even have a better explanation. I know it's going to be probably a little bit more of an uphill battle for Albania at this point, but I think they can do it. And that's why I put it in. It wasn't an easy decision, but yeah. I was overruled anyway, so who cares? All right, who else on the list? Let's go for the ones that only have 1 vote, because there's no one left with 2. One person said that this country will go through, and that is Slovenia. And please raise your hand if you voted for Slovenia. Sean, please explain.
Again, borderline with me. It's not like I've got these as like a runaway winner or anything, but I just think that I almost felt the juries might actually, this could be like a surprise where they really go for this one in big numbers. I just had a feeling that they might be appreciative of like the musicality of it and how different it is from the rest of the competition. And the fact that it's like, such a young band that have come up with like a composition like this. Televoters, maybe not so much. That's why I thought it was like a little bit, borderline, but, dismiss this one at your peril, I think, when you look at the way that the show flows and the brilliant stage performance that they put together here. I wouldn't rule Slovenia out yet, not at all.
I can agree with that statement, actually. I just had them still out. The last country on our list that had 1 vote, but clearly not enough. It's going to be also a little bit surprised, maybe? Bulgaria. So Bulgaria got a vote. Somebody thinks it's going to go through, and that one is Connor. Cannot explain. So, Roy, why is he wrong?
I mean, I don't think he's that wrong. Like I said the first time we watched the second round of rehearsals, like Bulgaria is definitely in it with a shot to qualify. It is a greatly staged song, and it really needs the live performance. As a studio version, I didn't care for it at all. But they just level up in their like energy, and the vocals are always spot on, and the guitar solo near the ending, like that will be a moment that people will remember. And it's just really, really well staged, and I definitely think you can't count them out.
Yep. That's basically what Connor thinks as well. As a matter of fact, he is even a little bit more confident. So those other countries that leave 1 vote, that leaves just, I think, 3 countries that received 0 votes. And the first one on the list was a surprise to me that nobody voted for, and that is Austria. Lumix and Pia Halo, which I was shocked. I said earlier that I was between Austria and Albania as my borderline qualifier. I went with Albania instead, and thinking, well, somebody's going to have Austria in there, so it's not going to be alone. And sure enough, I was not. Everybody has just a gut feeling that this will not go through. That is unfortunate, but hopefully they can prove us all wrong. I want them to prove us wrong. It's just, especially after this dress rehearsal that we saw, it's getting down to the wire. And maybe Pia just really pulls together vocally and energy-wise. and brings it home. But as of right now, from what we saw, that's why I think we all go down that route. Another country that got 0 votes, therefore not going through, going back to you, Roy, is Switzerland. Were you considering it at all, or is that more of a clear non-qualifier for you?
Yeah, I definitely was considering it. I think it would be very close, actually, like between 10th to like 14th, 15th, something like that. And ultimately, the song today in the running order, it just felt a little bit flat. Even though, like in the second dress rehearsal, or not second dress rehearsal, just the second rehearsals,
Yeah,
I quite like what they were doing with the staging, but just having it in the running order with the flow of the show, it just gets kind of forgotten, I think, and that is its biggest hindrance. It doesn't really have that attention grabbing moment, or that moment that really like makes people want to call for the song, basically.
yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, and I think that's why I also didn't put it in there. Then the last country on the list, no votes. Nobody thinks it's going to go through. Now watch them just fly in there, but for now we say it's not going to happen. That is Croatia, the guilty pleasure. Sean, no.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to fall victim to no one hates it, but it's not really like a love kind of situation. Kind of like it's just, I don't see it impacting enough to make enough top tens. And today, the stage show, it's the first time I sort of saw it in full, obviously, it just didn't really sort of make sense. I mean, we got sort of explanation from Connor on the live stream of like what the dancers represent, but I mean, it's not immediately obvious, and you've only got 3 minutes to actually make your impact on the stage. I think it's nicer with the second part in Croatian. Kind of wish they'd have done the whole song in Croatian almost, because then it might have had a little bit of a more, mysterious, or just a little extra quality to it. Yeah, I just don't think it's strong enough from Croatia this year. Unfortunately, I don't think the full package is there at all.
Yeah, and sadly, we all agree. We still love Croatia, and we wish the best. Hope if it works, you won't see me crying here, because it's such a sweet, I want to say sweet and cute at the same time. Cute song. So those are our predictions, and I know it's controversial. Doesn't matter what we pick; it'll be outrageous. But please just see these are our opinions, a combined result. What are your predictions, everyone? Leave them below in the comment section. We want to know. I see you soon in the next video. So until then.
Bye bye.